my party leader one day to hear this. Mambo ni Matatu. That one you have to support us in Western. Don't meander around things. We have been suffering. Mambo ni mangapi? Mambo ni mangapi? Either aende heaven, aende jela, ama arudi kwa, lakini Mumias iwe nini? Revived. Hiyo ndio kitu mimi nataka kuongea hapa, Mr. Speaker, and we are one of the happiest. But this bill, this report, ingizwe Mumias sugar na dates ziwe written off.
There is a point of order from your leader.
I want to interrupt my good friend, Honorable Naika, and my good neighbor for that matter. I heard him calling for my attention that I should listen carefully. Yes. And yet I haven't heard what was meant to be directed to me to act upon.
No,
I don't know. So
order. Honorable Andai, you are just being cheeky. You heard him. Go on.
Yes.
You heard him loud and clear.
He's supporting us halfway. This is what we don't want. That is the difference between us, Nyanza and Western. We are telling them openly. Hatutaki kuficha mambo. Mumias sugar must be revived. We have suffered enough. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Kandui. Okay, I'll give you. Member for Kandui.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the...
You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. 3 things. I support wholeheartedly the government's efforts to write off the debts. And I just pray that this time round, let us have a clear balance sheet, because these debts were written off in 2012, but they have still been appearing in the books. I wholeheartedly support the payment of farmers and employees of Nzoia Sugar, people who have failed to send their children to school because of non-payment. We cannot have a sector that is not controlled, Honorable Speaker. I therefore support the establishment of the 5 catchment areas and for the development of regulations to guide the conduct of the sugar sector. We are having chaos in the sugar sector because of poaching, absence of regulations. And equally, I support the funds to be put towards supporting the Kenya Sugar Research Institute to enable us to be able to develop new early maturing canes to be able to pay our farmers. But in respect to leasing, Honorable Speaker, I want to be very, very clear that this leasing must be done above board. I have looked at the recommendation. I'm saying the leasing is going to be done for 30 years. 30 years is too long a period of time. 2, I have looked at the recommendation, the nucleus and the land that are it is being recommended that the lands go back to their original owners. I don't think we need to return back to the original, because people were displaced. These lands were taken over by government. So we need to develop a system where farmers consistently begin taking over this particular industry so that they can be able to run it. Any recommendation that is pro-farmer to empower the farmer to run this particular industry is ultimately welcome. But we must do away with the sugar barons and the sugar economic bandits who have brought the confusion in this particular sector by importing sugar and doing cane poaching. As Honorable Naika says, Mambo ni Matatu. We must bring this sector to its senses. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Because I'll give you. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support this report, memorandum by the National Treasury and Economic Planning on action plans to revive and commercialize state-owned sugar companies. Honorable Speaker, for a long time, state-owned sugar companies have actually been mismanaged. They have suffered from looting and corruption. And I think the position the President has taken is, is supported by everybody on this House, including my friend Obio Ndai and his team. And I think this is the way to go as a country, that when something is good and is being done that is helping Kenyans, all of us must appreciate it and must give it our full support. And not just this one alone, but many other programs which we've seen the President put in place to make this country go in the right direction. We've seen the production efforts being put in the production, especially bringing down the cost of living. And I think, to me, that is something that is laudable and it's something that is in the right direction. And I think our country now is taking the right trajectory, and we should be able to support. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the memorandum.
Thank you, Honorable Ukose.